Real quick, just want to share this verse in Haggai chapter 2, verse 7, that says that Jesus is the desire of the nations. And I just want to quickly share. The verse says that Jesus is the desire of nations. It doesn't say that Jesus is a desire, but it says he is the desire. In other words, if something is the thing, it's impossible for that thing not to be it, because that's what it is. So basic, right? For example, this is a pen. This is the pink pen, right? Is it possible for this pen not to be this pen? No. Why? Because this pen is this pen, right? So Jesus is the desire of nations, which means that he is desirable by essence, by default. It's just that desire is who he is. He himself is desire. Now, it's on to us to encounter in this deep relationship and intimate relationship with him, the facet, the delights of him. You know, it's impossible to come in contact with this pen and not know that it's a pen. I mean, because that's what it is. So it's impossible to come in real contact with Jesus and not encounter desire in him, because he is, by definition, the desire of nations. That's what the word says. So it's impossible for a pen not to be a pen, right? So Jesus is the desire of nations. It's impossible for the desire of nations not to be desirable. Desire is who he is. So Jesus is delight. He's not religion. He's delight. And this relationship, as we come close to him, he begins to reveal the facets of him. He begins to show us, to give himself to us. And we begin to experience all these amazing elements of who he is. And ultimately, is so desirable. It's impossible to tap into him, to taste him, and not want him more, because he is desire himself. So he will create in us these yearnings for him, because a desire is something good. It's impossible not to desire a desire, right? The desire, especially because it's a definite article. It is the desire. It's not just a. So now you may ask me, but if he's the desire of nations, then why are the nations not really desiring him, right? Well, before you know something, before you really taste something, like let's say a food, before you taste a certain type of food, you may hear about it, but until you taste it for yourself, you're really not going to have any cravings for that food or any desire, because you haven't experienced it yet, right? So Jesus is the desire of the nations, but the nations, they haven't found out that yet. You know, they need to find it out. They need to begin to have a taste of Jesus, to experience who he is, so that they can understand that that deep desire they have in their hearts, that it's that longing, that emptiness, actually has a name, and it's Jesus, and he is this desire that they have, because he is the desire of the nations. So this goes alongside with evangelism, because as we tap into him and we begin to experience this desire, which is himself, it's just that we can't contain it. We have to share, because it's just too good. And then we become these representatives of him to the nations, so that the desire of nations can be known, so that the nations can find out who their desire is, which is Christ himself. So I just want to encourage you today to tap into him, to tap into his person on a daily basis as you do life, as you fellowship with Christ, to tap into the ecstasies of Jesus, that he is the delight, that he is the desire of nations, not a desire, but the desire. Amen? Let him touch us today, and let us just be in awe of his presence, of his person, of his voice, of everything that involves him. And out of that place, represent him well to the nations. God bless you. May the Lord encourage you and show himself real, because he is the desire of nations. Amen.